News Talk 1070 KHMO presents On the Mark with Mark Hespin. News Talk 1070 KHMO presents On the Mark with Mark Hespin. On the Mark is powered by Kunis Country Honda Hyundai, your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area at 221 North 36th Street, Quincy. Faith, family, and giving back. That's Kunis Country. And now, here's Mark Hespin.
Good morning, Tri-States, and wherever you may be listening on the News Talk 1070 KHMO app. This is On the Mark. I am Mark Hespin, brought to you by Kunis Honda Hyundai, your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area, 221 North 36th Street in Quincy. You got to ask them about that lifetime powertrain warranty, the new and used vehicles, the no fear warranty. Faith, family, giving back. That's Kunis Honda Hyundai. Tell them Mark sent you. Thank you so much for making me a part of your Saturday morning, broadcasting live and local here in our KHMO studios in Quincy at 24th and Broadway. Shout out to my guy, Zach. He's watching on the Facebook Live. You can always follow the show on Facebook. Just search On the Mark KHMO on Facebook. You want to follow me directly and engage? Hit me up on X at Mark Hespin, MarkHespen, formerly known as Twitter, or on Instagram at Mark Hespin, same thing. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel On the Mark KHMO. Just search on Mark Hespin on YouTube as well. We are at episode 216 of On the Mark, and we have a ton to get into on the show today. We have a massive Week 16 in the NFL. This is a huge make-or-break-it week. You look at some of these games coming on up today, tomorrow, on Christmas Day. Seasons can be made right now. Seasons can be broken right now. And we had that a little bit on Thursday Night Football. We'll start there. We'll get into a full breakdown of Week 16, my lock and my upset. I am 14-15-1 gambling this year. I am basically 500. I've been stuck clawing back trying to get to 500. Last week I put my hopes on the Jags. They failed me. This week I will put my hopes on another primetime game. And I feel strongly that this team won't fail me. They've treated me well this season so far. Also, we will talk NBA today. Looking ahead at the NBA Christmas Day schedule. Also, just in general, some big storylines going on in the NBA right now as the season in the NBA is a third of the way through. So I know it's football. We're heading toward the playoffs. That's the important stuff. That's the meat. But the potatoes are getting good with the NBA. Potatoes are getting good. We're the prime part of the NBA season right now. And then we'll quickly take a look at what some of the college bowl games that you have to entertain yourself over the next couple days before I see you again next Saturday. Let's waste no more time. Let's jump into it. Hespin headline number one. The Rams are frisky.
Hespin's headlines On the Mark.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Rams are officially in the frisky category. Like real frisky. Like, oh no, I don't want to play them in the first round of the playoffs frisky. I'll say this about the Rams. You know from earlier in the year, if you're listening to the show, I predicted actually the Rams to win the NFC West. It was my biggest, boldest prediction of the year. Part of that was based on I didn't think Brock Purdy's health would hold up. I didn't think Brock Purdy would be a guy who could show up and play the full, 17-game schedule. And his body hold up, especially after dealing with the elbow injury. And I thought he would take, be a little bit of a learning curve. He'd have kind of a sophomore slump. And they did. The Niners did. When the injuries happened, they had that 3-game skid. But beyond that, Purdy's been amazing. And I've certainly undersold what I thought Purdy would be. And I'm wrong for that. The Niners are the best team in football. And besides that 3-game skid, he has been absolutely fantastic. And the other part of that was, I was a firm believer in Sean McVay, still am. Firm believer in that Stafford would be healthy this year. He's been. And that the young players for the Rams would really take a big leap. A big leap going in to year one, rookie year, end of the year, and then year two, some of the players they drafted last year. The Rams have a really young roster beyond the Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Taylor, Higbee, Aaron Donald portions of their roster. And what are we seeing late in the season? If you look at the Rams early in the year, they lost a lot of big games close. And what does that tell you? When teams, it's like a college football team, lose big games close, it's because they have those young players that just, they need time to mature. They need time in the system. Week 2, 30-23 loss at home versus the 49ers. They played the 49ers tougher than a lot of teams this year. Only a one-score game. Then they lost on the road to a Joe Burrow Bengals team that was really desperate. Remember, the Bengals started 0-2. Joe Burrow, everyone questioned his health. They lost 19-16, a one-possession game there, and they battled hard. They then lost to the Eagles at home, and the Eagles were rolling and undefeated, less than 10 points, 23-14. In between that, in those first, 6 games of the year, a surprise upset win on the road at Seattle. A nice win against the Colts, a Colts team now that we know is a really respectable, tough Colts team, 29-23. They then blew out the Cardinals 26-29. That was right after the Cardinals upset the Cowboys as well. So a Cardinals team that early in the year was absolutely frisky. So this Rams team early in the season, up and down, kind of surprising people. A lot of people, they're hanging around against good teams. Then they hit a really tough stretch where injuries really piled up for them. Kyren Williams was out there, your young star running back. They lost the Steelers in a one-score game at home. They lost to the Cowboys in blowout fashion on the road against the Cowboys as the Cowboys were starting to hit their stride. Then they had a bad loss at the Packers. Rams traveling outdoors against the Packers 2013. That's when the Packers were starting to get up and get go. Post that Packers loss, they have been phenomenal. A home win against the Seahawks, 17-16. A blowout win on the road against the Cardinals, 37-14. A really nice win at home against a very good Browns team, 36-19. The loss to Baltimore in overtime on a punt return. Baltimore might be the best team in the league. We'll find out Monday night. So they played them really, really well. Besides that loss, they have been unstoppable. A great win against the Commanders, a great win against the Saints. And here the Rams are now 8-7. They could be a 10-win team. They have at the Giants next week. They're obviously favored on New Year's Eve against the Giants. And then at home, last game of the season, against their rivals, the Niners, Sean McVay, and the Niners versus Kyle Shanahan. And that could not only come down for the Niners to get the 1 seed, but for the Rams to be in and to secure a wild card berth. So, listen, the Rams are officially at, you need to take the Rams seriously. They are at beyond frisky territory. Matt Stafford has quietly been one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league this year. 23 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, 3,600 yards. It's 5th most in the league this year. Kyren Williams, dynamic. Obviously, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, the wide receivers are electric. Higbee, the tight end, is very, very good. And the young defense is coming alive. 3 players were 6 or more sacks, including Aaron Donald, kind of leading the veteran presence on that defense. This Rams team, the only thing that I don't love for the Rams is that they're literally lining up to where they might play the Lions in Detroit in the wild card weekend. And how devastating would that be for Detroit fans for them to host a playoff game for the first time since '93 and Matt Stafford comes to town? That would be devastating for Detroit. So I hope that doesn't happen. But overall, I just wanted to make sure we started the show letting everyone know. I know the Rams have been an afterthought for you for most of the season. They now have to be one of those teams you're thinking about in the forefront of their mind. The Rams could absolutely go to Detroit, go to Dallas, go to Philly, go to Tampa or New Orleans or Atlanta, whoever wins the South. They could absolutely go there and win a playoff game. And then it's house money, more than house money for the Rams. And what's scary then is the 2024-2025 Rams. We knew this would be the reset year for the Rams. Last year was the, oh my God, can they do it again? They bring all the pieces back. They add more veterans to Bobby Wagner. Can they make another run? It fell apart. Injuries decimated the team. This year was, all right, we have to reset. We have to get younger. We have to get cheaper. And can Matt Stafford, make some magic? And they're doing that. And then next year, it's the final year with Stafford, final year Aaron Donald, and then all the young players, Puka Nacua popping, getting good, and then they can add free agents this offseason. They have draft capital, and they have some actual salary cap in Los Angeles to work with. So this next year, if the Rams can find a way to maybe steal a playoff game, send the good vibes to all the free agents, you may all of a sudden say the Rams is the place you want to go for that one-and-done type of deal. The Rams could bookend this Matt Stafford thing, a Super Bowl year one, and maybe a Super Bowl in year 4 of the Matt Stafford experience. It's a really exciting thing to think about if you're a Rams fan, and building it with a playoff victory and kind of turning around the vibes for this team. I know you say to yourself, well, the ceiling shouldn't just be, you want to win a playoff game or make the playoffs. But when you're doing like what the Bucs did with Tom Brady, it's absolutely what you want to do. You want to turn the vibes around in that year 3 so that year 4 could be a huge pop-off year. If that happens with the Rams, I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if I'm picking the Rams, if they make the right moves this offseason, to have a deep, deep playoff run next year. And then finally, I'll say this about the Saints at that loss on Thursday. Don't look at the scoreboard. It was a one-score game, but that game was a blowout by the third quarter, and the Saints are not good. The Saints absolutely are a team that is in a really, really tough spot, but the best thing for them to do is to reset. Now, I know a lot of people pointed the Derek Carr contract. Well, you signed him 4 years, over $100 million. That's fine. You keep Derek Carr next year. He'll be the starter. You get Jameis out of the building, trade him. Get Taysom Hill out of the building, trade him to Denver. You know what I mean? Like reset everything, new head coach. And you say to the head coach, we're gonna go all in, draft a quarterback, maybe trade up to draft a quarterback. He can learn from Derek Carr for a year. Derek Carr's contract becomes really malleable. You can trade him after next year. You can let him go after next year, and you can swallow a lot of that money left. And you say, now you're in a really good spot. You have a veteran quarterback who can take the pressure off your high-drafted rookie, go get an offensive head coach, an Eric Bieniemy, a Ben Johnson, someone, and tell them we're going to draft whoever you want, reset this market. The Saints are a team that would be so dumb to roll this back. Now, they may do it, but we're not going to fall for the trap again next year. The Saints absolutely need to reset. They need to reset. The Saints have got to change. They've got to change the leadership in the building. Dennis Allen ain't the guy. Running this back with Derek Carr, the teammates don't seem to like him. But you can sell the veterans on, hey, we drafted the rookie. Let's let Derek, take the punches as we reset, and then we'll move to the rookie later in the season or, going into the next year. The Saints, listen, they have it in front of them. They play, I think, the Bucs and the Falcons in the final 2 weeks. So the Saints absolutely could still win the division, but it's ugly. I mean, if you watched that Thursday night game and thought, the Saints are building something, then I don't know what you're watching. The Saints are holding on to dear life for something that they probably should have reset and rebuilt and not signed Derek Carr. Anyways, I get why they tried. It failed. Now move on, right? Move on, reset. You're listening on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO, the KHMO app, brought to you by Kunis Honda Hyundai, your number one Honda and Hyundai dealer in the tri-state area. When we come back, full breakdown of Week 16, including some quarterbacks in the AFC South on the injured list who may not be playing. To be real, some big determining factors. A couple of those games. We'll get to all of that next. It's on the Mark.
Look, I'm Tumani. When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things. I committed some crimes, even got shot, but I'm not a criminal.
That's right. I'm Jamal. I work for youth advocate programs. Yeah, I was Tumani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, get a job, and work hard to see a better future for himself. If you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her. With the youth advocate programs, I was able to connect with Jalen.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration, congregate placement, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, 86% of participants were arrest-free. YAP works.
And now, I'm a YAP advocate, helping kids like me find a better way.
Youth advocate programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn how at yapinc.org.
In mid-2017, we received the news that nobody wants to hear. Your child has cancer. St. Jude made us feel that everything was gonna be alright. It's like an army of people working together, following the same dream, which is getting 100% success rate for curing childhood cancer.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
1070 KHMO.
Welcome on back to On the Mark here on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. We are brought to you by the great people at Kunes Honda Hyundai. Start your new year in a new ride. Kunes Honda Hyundai, over 3,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. Tell them Mark sent you, 221 North 36th Street in Quincy. Join the Kunes family. Best decision I made since moving to the Tri-States. Until then, I met my wife, and then that obviously incredible decision. Kunes then falls to the second. It feels bad saying the second best decision, but when you put in the context of meeting my wife and my wife being incredible, I think then you see where I'm going. Best non-getting married decision since moving to the Tri-States. Shout out to the guys at Kunes Honda Hyundai. They're fantastic. Can't wait next year to be able to do some shows at Kunes Honda Hyundai. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait for it. All right, let's jump into it. Hespin headline number 2. We got to break down Week 16 in the NFL.
Hespin's headlines on the mark.
Okay, let's jump into it. Waste no time. We got games today. Big games today. Bengals at the Steelers. We get Mason Rudolph. This is one of those classic games where everyone's counting out the Steelers. They're dead and gone. Mike Tomlin is being traded, according to Diana Rossini at The Athletic. They're home underdogs in division. This is the perfect Steelers upset, get right. Mike Tomlin battles, stays above 500. I actually like the Steelers in this game. The Bengals are the better team. They're playing better football. But if Mike Tomlin, this is kind of like his culture's being questioned, everything's being questioned. I think the players will just get a spark from Mason Rudolph as well. And obviously for Mason Rudolph, he's been in this league a long time, kind of a career backup. I think we took a huge offense for them signing Trubisky. I think if he's got anything left to prove that he can play in this league as a backup quarterback for whether it's the Steelers going forward or any other roster, this is kind of a last stand for them. Also, let's be honest, the Bengals have been playing with a little bit of house money. No DJ Reader in this game. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of the run game from Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I like the Steelers to upset the Bengals. I know, I hate that I'm picking the Steelers, but it just feels like this is a Mike Tomlin line in the sand culture game. They find a way to win in division. In the AFC North, whoever's the home team and they're an underdog, they usually win. It's like an ultimate disrespect type of thing, right? And the coaches in this black and blue division find a way to get their teams motivated. I think you'll see that today. I think the Steelers find a way for another week to stay alive. It makes it even harder for Steelers fans to question Mike Tomlin and what do they do at the end of the season. Can they get Kenny Pickett back for the stretch run here? I think all those storylines stay alive with this win. Bengals play well. Jake Browning plays well. Steelers defense makes a play late. Rudolph finds his wide receivers, keeps Pickens happy. I think it's a big feed George Pickens game. Keep the star happy. Warren, the running back, of a couple big plays. I'll take the Steelers 20-17 at home upset over the Bengals. Bills go to the Chargers. No time to waste on this game. Just don't waste time. They'll win. They'll probably cover. The line is 12. I think what will be important for us, what's important for us as fans and analysts to watch this game is you want to see the Bills absolutely deliver the knockout early. This should be a Josh Allen building his MVP numbers type of game. And this should be Josh Allen going out there, get up 21-0 at half, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Diggs, 1 to Gabe Davis, you know what I mean? And just open up the stat sheet. Yes, it's an interim coach, so you got to be worried about that kind of bump that the Chargers will get. They're not going to totally lay over and die. So the first half, well, that's going to be what's interesting. The Chargers actually come out with some moxie in the first half. Now that they got their coach fired, they should, and the Bills should be prepared for that. And if you're the Bills and if you're Sean McDermott, you got to be saying to your guys all week, this team's going to come out fighting because they accomplished their goal last week. They got their head coach fired. Now it's about them saving their jobs and saving their careers. So the Chargers players are going to fight. They're going to scrap because they need to put the tape out there that it was Staley, not them. Now let's go out and ball. And so if the Bills are prepared for that and the Bills are ready to make this run, which we all want to see the Bills make and think the Bills can make, setting up a great Week 18 for them versus the Dolphins for the division, they need to ball out in the first half and be ready to take that blow from the Chargers. I think they will. I think Josh Allen, hyper-focused. I think they run the ball well. I like the Bills in this game. I like Josh Allen to sneakily put up big numbers, and all of a sudden we're sitting ourselves watching a national TV game going, maybe that dude is the MVP of the league. And I think it could be setting up that way for Josh Allen nicely. I'll take the Bills over the Chargers. I think they do end up covering. Chargers have more fight than you think, but I think the Bills end up covering. I'll say the Bills 33, Chargers 17 in a nice win for Buffalo on Peacock on Prime, standalone game tonight and on Saturday Night Football. Sunday, Christmas Eve, what a slate of games that we get. Let's start with the noon slate on Fox, Colts at the Falcons. How do you not like the Colts in this game? The Falcons are poo. They're not good. They have real problems. I like Arthur Smith. I truly don't think Arthur Smith is the problem. Now, Arthur Smith isn't making it easy because he's not just feeding his weapons. I don't know what his deal is with not just feeding Bijan Robinson and getting Kyle Pitts and Drake London just the ball on every single play. One of those three players should get the ball on every single play. They go back to Taylor Heineke. They're looking for the spark. I will say, I think the Colts they're a more consistent team, better coach team coming off the loss last week. I like the Colts on the road against the Falcons. This should be an entertaining game because both teams are absolutely playing for a lot. I like the Colts, though. Gardner Minshew, I trust him more. I trust the Colts' weapons more. I trust the Colts' coaching staff more. The Falcons just lost to the Panthers. How can I trust them at all? Which is why the Falcons will probably win and we'll all look stupid. But give me the Colts. They'll win on the road against Atlanta, 24-20. A nice victory for the Colts. And the Colts will absolutely be 100% alive for a wild card spot after that victory. Seahawks at the Titans. Seahawks will win this game. Titans are going to probably have to go to Malik Willis or back to Ryan Tannehill. Looks like Levis tweaked that ankle. Listen, I think we all know Levis is the guy. They want to give him the keys next year, and they should. He's earned the right to get a full offseason, build around him, see what the kid's got going into next year. He certainly showed a lot more promise than a lot of the rookie and second-year quarterbacks in the NFL have, and the Titans fans should feel good about that. So if he's nursing a real ankle injury, you're out of the playoffs. No reason to play him. So if they're playing Malik Willis or Tannehill, you got to roll with the Seahawks. Seahawks are playing for a ton. They're playing for a playoff spot. The Seahawks can still find a way to get to 10 wins. I mean, what a win for them. A season-saving win for them on Monday night. I think they'll be riding those vibes high. And I think without Will Levis, this Titans team being out of it, it's going to be tough for them to find a lot of energy to play for. I like the Seahawks in Nashville to win on the road. Give me the Seahawks 27-20, nice victory. Maybe Tannehill plays and shows a little energy spark. If I were Tennessee, I would start Willis. I'd want to lose this game. If you're Tennessee now, being a 5-win team and ending this season as 5-2 12, that's what's best for you. I mean, it improves your draft stock a ton. You can add to that offensive line. There's 2 elite tackles that'll go in the top 10. You got Skoronski last year. You can add another this year. You can really build an offensive line and build the team the way Vrabel wants to from the trenches outward. I think that's really a smart move for the Titans to go, hey, let's just quietly lose the rest of these games and know that we found our quarterback. We have some pieces. Let's go get a better draft pick. Lions at the Vikings. This is absolutely a crucial game for the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are not out of the number 1 seed. They're not. The Detroit Lions wanting to get the 2nd seed and make sure they end up having to play the Rams and that or the Eagles/Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs is also really crucial. The 2nd seed in the NFC playoffs is going to be a really important seed. If let's just say the Niners win out, right? And let's just say then the Cowboys find a way to lock up the 2nd seed or their division. The 2nd seed is going to end up playing a team like a Seattle, a team like a Green Bay. Meanwhile, that 3rd seed, they're going to end up playing either a Rams or an Eagles, a good team. The 4th seed, the NFC South winner is going to get the best team, right? They're going to get the best wildcard team. That's probably going to be the Eagles or the Cowboys. Well, next seed, that 3rd seed, they're going to get maybe the Rams. And you don't want that at this point in time. You want it, that NFC 2nd seed is really important. So the Lions are alive for the 1 seed. This is important for them. They know it. But equally important is getting that 2nd seed and avoiding one of the better teams, those 2 better teams who can take the garbage, bottom feeder team in the NFC playoffs and get yourself a victory. Lions win out. I'm calling it right now. Lions are going 3-0 down the stretch. They're going to be 13-4. They start with a big victory at Minnesota. The Lions defense showed up last week. I think they show up this week. Also, Jared Goff in a dome, nothing to worry about. That Lions offensive line, they can handle the blitz pressure that the Vikings like to bring. And they just absolutely love Brian Flores doing some exotic stuff. The Lions will lean on their run game. Jared Goff off of play action. Big day for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. Give me the Lions winning pretty easily, 30-17 on the road against the Vikings, setting up the Lions again. They're winning out, and they're going to lock up this division. I'm calling it they win today. They win the division. Sunday they win the division. Something they haven't done since 1993. The vibes are right for the Lions. Trust me on this one. Commanders at the Jets. Yeah, this is both teams want to lose game, so I don't know which one I'm going to say. I think the Jets will end up winning this game. It is the 32nd ranked offense versus the 32nd ranked defense. So the Jets offense, while bad, has shown sparks when they've played bad defenses. So they're playing a bad defense, so I think they're going to show sparks. I think they'll move the ball. And the Commanders, I mean, both teams know they're all in on the tank. Commanders, it's a little more apparent, and it's a little more they're purposely trying to do it. I mean, yeah, take the Jets, take the 3 points, they'll win. It'll be ugly, it'll be gross, 20-13. Take the Jets. And also, there's no reason to think the Commanders' offense can move the ball in this good Jets defense. The game is in New York. Take the Jets. Packers at the Panthers. This has become a really important game. For me as a Bears fan, I hate it, but I am obviously rooting for the Packers. You do not want the Panthers to find a way to get to 3 wins. That can ruin everything for the Bears and their plans for the number 1 pick. The Packers, if they want to be really mean to the Chicago Bears and really, really evil to the Chicago Bears, the Packers should lose this game. I don't think the Packers are going to do that. The Packers can still get to 9-8 and can still find their way into that 7th seed into the playoffs. I think that's an important thing for them. Joe Barry's also coaching for his life right now. This Packers defense has got to show up. I think this game will be people like to think, the last two quarterbacks in the NFC to play the Packers, Tommy DeVito and Baker Mayfield, won NFC Offensive Player of the Week. A lot of people are high on the Panthers this week. Is a kind of a sneaky play. I don't think so. I think this is a Packers get-right game. Get away from home. Go down to Charlotte. They get good weather. It'll be in the 50s. I think they absolutely play well against a Panthers team who's just not good. And if there's one recipe that's good for your bad defense, so, Packers trying to get their defense right, it's playing a really bad offense. And the Panthers are a really bad offense. I think that the Packers, the one thing they can do is get pressure on the quarterback. I think you'll see that. I think Bryce Young will have an ugly game. I think the Packers have a get-right game. Jordan Love was bad the last time we saw him. He was missing open wide receivers. I don't think you're going to see that again. And I think Jordan Love is sharper. I think, he's on this kind of up and down trajectory. Bad game, good game, bad game, good game. I think this is one of the good games for Jordan Love. I'll take the Packers to win. I'm not just saying that because I need them to win. I'm saying that because I believe the Packers are a better team, better coached team. They have better talent. They'll win this game. It'll be gross at times. I think the Panthers will have some fight in them, but I think you're going to see them win this game. I like the Packers 24-17. They'll take care of the Panthers. There will be a time in the third quarter where the Packers fans, it's like 17-17, and they are going to be like, dear God, we need to fire everyone straight to the moon, and they're ripping their hair out. I think Jordan Love will find a way to win this game. Browns at the Texans. This should have been like the really great game in the noon slate, but the Texans are going to be without C.J. Stroud for the second week. They're going with Case Keenum again. And I think this is a Browns team that has just too much defensively for Case Keenum to beat them. They're questionable. Obviously, they're without Tank Dell. Their other wide receiver is questionable. He's been dealing with a nagging injury. They're without C.J. Stroud, without Jonathan Abrams on the defensive line, too, who's been playing really well. I think this is just a Texans team that has been decimated with injuries. That was a great win for them last week. If you knew C.J. Stroud was going to miss 2 weeks with a concussion, if you're going to say we go 1-1 in those 2 weeks, they would absolutely take it. The Texans fall to 8-7. They can still make the playoffs at 9-7. You get C.J. Stroud back, kind of go all in, let him get healthy. I think the Browns are just too much. They're going to overwhelm the Texans. It'll be ugly. It'll be a defensive game for the Browns. I think they'll get a pick six or a nice, big defensive play that leads to an easy score, makes it easy for Joe Flacco and this offense. They have more talent right now, and the better backup quarterback is Joe Flacco over Case Keenum, and they're much healthier. So I know they're on the road, but all of those things favor Cleveland. I'll take the Browns. They'll win 24-13. It'll be ugly, but the Browns will take care of business. The Browns will get to 10 wins, and again, the mojo will all be the Browns' direction right now. I mean, the Browns are going to be a handful for any team in the AFC playoffs in the first round. Meanwhile, the Jaguars at the Buccaneers. Trevor Lawrence questionable in this game. Listen, how do you not like the Bucs? The Jags have given us nothing to feel good about recently. Nothing. And they are playing awful football. The Bucs, meanwhile, are playing fantastic football. The Bucs just saw the Saints get blown to smithereens against the Rams. The Bucs just saw the Falcons lose to the Panthers last week. This Bucs team, I think, is all in. They're locked in. This is their division, and I think they know it. If they can find a way to win this game, a game that no one expected them to win 3-4 weeks ago, and at home, Baker Mayfield playing his best football we've seen him play since he led to the Browns to the playoffs, 3 years ago. 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Wow, that's crazy. I really think this is all in on the Bucs. I wanted to make this my lock of the week. The Bucs. I like a line better, so I'm gonna sneakily tell you this is my second lock of the week. Bucs money line. They'll win this game. Bucs are winning this game. They have a team that is playing really great football right now. They have a quarterback who's locked in right now. They are playing with house money. Everything is falling apart around them. Meanwhile, they're sneakily healthy, and everyone is clicking right now, offensively and defensively. Bucs at home against the Jags. Love the Bucs to take care of business. I'll take the Bucs in an easy win, even if Trevor Lawrence plays. I think it's 27-17, 27-20. I like the Bucs a lot in this game. Cardinals at the Bears. Okay, what do we do? All right, let's reset. Let's think for a second. Let's all just calm down. Let's calm down. The Bears obviously have nothing to gain from winning anymore, correct? We all know that. The Bears losing to the Arizona Cardinals would be good in the sense that it would help just in case the Panthers were to somehow win. That you have one less other 3-win team. Okay, great. But I do think the Bears are a much more talented team than Arizona. The Bears are at home. The Bears are wearing their sick throwback, 1930s throwbacks, which is awesome. I like that. All week long, you've heard nothing but Bears players come out and basically say, Justin Fields is our guy. They're really rallying him. I think the Bears are going to win this game. They're favored by 4. I think they cover that. I really do, if you're just on paper. But it is tough because the best thing for the Bears, and I know it's true, and I hate saying this, the best thing for them to lose this game. And I hate that because I root for the Bears to win every game. As soon as the kickoff starts, I'll be rooting for the Bears to win. That's the way my brain works. But the best thing for them to do would be to lose this game. Now, I think the Browns loss was enough for us all as Bears fans to say, okay, we get it. Eberflus is not the guy. He's just not the guy who can lead this team to multiple division wins and playoff success. Is Justin Fields the quarterback who can do that? I still believe he could be that guy with the right coaching staff around him and the right assortment of weapons. Now, I know people are saying, well, then he's not special. Then he's not the guy. Yeah, I understand that. But there's a lot of quarterbacks who were really talented, good quarterbacks who can just give you consistent winning. And I think Justin Fields could be that guy if everything else is around him is correct. And you say to yourself, well, then you shouldn't talk like that. You want to find the guy who's going to be the superstar, the difference maker, who's going to be Josh Allen, who's going to be Joe Burrow, who's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Of course we want that. But the Bears have never had that. The Bears have never even had just a consistent guy who can just win you a division year after year. And it's hard for me to want to move on from Justin Fields when I truly believe he could be the guy who could win this division year after year if everything else falls right. The one thing that worries me with Justin Fields is the injuries are building up, and now you're already at year 3 has gone by. Is he going to be a guy that in 5 years from now is still consistently playing? Will the injuries build up? That's where you want to look at really resetting the market. The Bears have a lot of decisions to make in the offseason. We're going to talk a ton about that once we get to the offseason, obviously. So I don't want to waste any more time on it now. Just know that I think the Bears will win this game. The Bears will win this game. They should win this game because they're the better team, the better talent, and that's what the NFL you should be. If you're the better team with the better talent, you should win the football game. I don't trust my head coach, so God only knows what can happen in that way. And know that for Bears fans, yes, the best thing is to lose this game, but the Bears never do what's best for us. So they're probably going to win. Cowboys at the Dolphins. We've arrived at my lock of the week. Dolphins favored by 2. I'm hammering the Dolphins -2. I think the Dolphins win this game in fashion that we saw the Bills win the game against the Cowboys. I say a lot of times, if a good team gets embarrassed on national TV, they'll come back and they'll play better. And they will. The Cowboys will play better. But this Dolphins team is playing for a lot right now. This Dolphins team is at home. And this Dolphins team is going to be at 76-degree weather outside. Tyreek Hill might be back. And they showed you last week we can win games with or without Tyreek Hill. I think they just match up really well against the Cowboys. They have the elite weapons one-on-one who can deal with the Cowboys' good back end. They have a solid offensive line who can deal with the Cowboys' pass rush. And defensively, for the Dolphins, all they have to do is make Dak a little bit uncomfortable and clamp down on CeeDee Lamb. And where's the consistent Dak second and third options? They're just not there consistently. This is going to be a track race. This is going to be an absolute track meet. This is going to be who can score 30-plus. If it comes down to that, I trust the Dolphins to score 30-plus a lot more than I trust the Cowboys to score 30-plus. This game is going to be close. It's going to be fun. The Cowboys will put up a better effort than they did against the Bills. But the Dolphins are the better team. The Dolphins are playing for their division. They're playing for the 1 seed. They're going to come out with a monumental effort in trying to still right the wrongs from that ugly Monday Night Football loss against the Titans. They have got to win out, and I think they know that. Mike McDaniel, that clip that came out of him, I don't know how you don't want to play for that guy. He might be my favorite coach in the NFL right now. Dolphins win 30-24 in a nice big victory for them. They cover at home against the Cowboys. Listen, it's going to come down to the fact Dak on the road outdoors in the Miami Heat. Can he find a way to get the second and third weapons going? I just don't believe that's going to happen. I think that Vic Fangio and that defense will get enough pressure on Dak to make him uncomfortable enough to where they're not going to be able to get to 30 points. And you're going to need to score 30 points to beat this Dolphins team. I like the Dolphins at home. They're 6-1 at home. They don't lose at home, except for that weird Monday night game. They've corrected those issues. I love the Dolphins. That's my lock of the week. Patriots, Broncos, ugly. Don't want to talk about it. 7-15 NFL Network on Christmas Eve. Broncos will win. So the Broncos are a solid team. The Broncos can get to 10 wins. Their schedule really lines it up for them to get to 10 wins, and they could. I think this is a march to 10 wins for them. A nice victory over a bad Patriots team. That Patriots sneakily, they're rooting for the Panthers. They they very well could end up with that number 1 pick. Monday. We got 3 games on Monday on Christmas Day. Raiders at the Chiefs. I love the Chiefs in this game. Again, the Raiders are playing good football. I still think they should hire Antonio Pierce. I still think the Raiders should be the number 1 team in the call the Chicago Bears or whoever ends up with the number 1 pick. Give us the number 1 pick. We want the quarterback. We'll give you a king's ransom. I like the Chiefs, though. Again, this is a Chiefs team that got right last week against the against the Patriots. On prime time, CBS at home against the Raiders on Christmas. Yeah. Taylor will be there at home cooking Kansas City. Good weather on Christmas Day. I think the Chiefs will win in a blowout fashion. Again, you'll see Patrick Mahomes kind of right the wrongs. 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 300 yards. Big game for Travis Kelce and celebrating Christmas with T. Swift. Don't overthink it. Chiefs win 30-17 at home against the Raiders. Giants, Eagles on Fox on Christmas Day. Listen, the Eagles, extra time. They played last Monday, so they get a full week to prepare. I think this is an Eagles team that, at home, pride on the line. They are more talented than this Giants team. It's in division, so it'll be close at times. I think this game could be 17-17, going into the third quarter, somewhere in the third quarter. Watch the Eagles pull away. The Eagles will find a way to fix their offense. I don't know if their defense is 100% fixable. Matt Patricia, I thought, did a better job last week against Seattle overall. But I think you're going to find a way for this offense. Nick Sirianni going back to the drawing board. Look for them to be able to score points. They're going to get the ball in Devontae Smith's hands. They're going to get the ball in A.J. Brown's hands. I think you're going to see a big bounce-back game from Jalen Hurts. Eagles will win. Eagles will win. I think it'll be something along the lines of 27-17. Eagles are going to win. And then finally, my upset of the week is the final game of the week, Christmas night on ABC, Monday Night Football. The Ravens +6 at the Niners. I love the Ravens +6. The Ravens can run the football. The Ravens can stop the run. The Ravens have enough weapons for Lamar Jackson to move around, create, keep plays alive. Will the Niners win? They might. But if the Niners win, they ain't winning by 6 points. If the Niners win, this is 24-21 slugfest. I think the Ravens win outright. Outright. Ravens take care of business on the road Monday night against the Niners. Lamar Jackson MVP type performance. 2 touchdown passes. He runs the touchdown in. No interceptions. He's scrambling. He's moving around. It's Christmas night. Lamar magic. And that is the way you can beat this Niners team. You can beat them by just having a generational quarterback with enough weapons to make plays and a defense that can make Brock Purdy uncomfortable. I think the Ravens shock the world on Monday night on Christmas Eve. Lamar Jackson MVP tickets, cash them. He's going to play lights out. Ravens win 27-20 Monday night at San Francisco. And the football world looks at Brock Purdy and goes, see, is a little bit more of a game manager than a game changer, which we see across the field. It's On the Mark, News Talk 1070, KHMO and the KHMO app.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Well, John, the stage is set for the final transaction.
That's right, Joe. Heather's moment has arrived, and you just hope all that training pays off.
Heather lays down her purchase, but Randy rings it up as slowly as he can.
He is a wily veteran.
It gives Heather's eyes the chance to wander.
Uh-oh.
Yep, she's looking at the cigarettes.
There's nothing good back there. Quit now, and in 5 years, your odds of getting certain cancers drop 50%.
Meanwhile, Randy's stone-faced. He's giving nothing away. He just stands there, wetting his cashier's finger on that sponge.
Heather toes the rubber.
Here we go. Heather's arm is in motion. But instead of pointing at the back wall, she just grabs the gum off the counter.
That's a slick move.
Heather back. She is out of there. Even Randy tips his cap to Heather. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally wants you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
With love I will build a wonderful thing that makes this life better for you and for me.
For 100 years and counting, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been creating wonderful opportunities for children in need. This life-changing medical care helps them do the things they've always dreamed of.
Shriners Hospitals for Children has done so much for me and so many other kids.
I can dance.
I can play games with my friends.
Because of Shriners Hospitals for Children, I have no limits, and I'm doing more than what I ever thought possible.
To find out more about how children in need are being helped every day, go to loveshriners.org today.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Oh, I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
1070 KHMO.
Welcome on back to On the Mark here on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Wrapping up the show here, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to you and a Christmas Eve. Be safe, have fun. As always, follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Mark Hespen, MarkHespen. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook. Also, you can follow the YouTube channel, Mark Hespen on YouTube as well. And I just want to quickly say, you know, the NFL is taking over Christmas Day, but you got some great matchups on Christmas for the NBA. Bucks, Knicks, Warriors, Nuggets, Celtics, Lakers. How can you beat that? 76ers, Heat, Mavericks, Suns. They're putting their big stars on Christmas Day in the big markets, and it's going to be fun. So if you can, watch a little NBA. I will say right now, as we look at the NBA, one of the key things to look out for, the West is a crowded race, and Ja Morant just came back. It could be a difference maker. Enjoy your holidays. I'll see you.